Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Utagh's, your not so serious source on all things Utah photography industry. Today in the studio, we have a wonderful person with us, known as Mama Longlegs. She is the founder of Salix Inspired, a networking and meetup group that does photo shoots for the editorial industry. Hi, Mama Longlegs.
Hey, babes. How's it going?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for letting me be on this podcast. I'm so exciting. I love to yap, so I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
As do we. It's why we have this.
I love to yap. This is so exciting. And also, I love the podcast that you guys are doing. This is a great resource, I think, that is very much so needed in this industry. So, courtesy to you. Thank you for teaching us and educating us.
That's kind of the whole reason why we made it, is we knew that a lot of photographers didn't know the options when it came to photography. Mm-hmm. We're like, you don't have to go family or weddings. There's a whole treasure trove of options.
Yeah. You can stick a dead octopus on your head and
you can
call it a day. Yeah. So
or have lots of dead fish on a dock.
Yeah. A real specialty, one could say.
We've seen Mary do it all.
Yes, exactly. But no, this is a great resource, and I hope it continues to thrive and be successful, because it's really needed. It really is needed. So
thank you. Well, I wanted you to kind of give us a little spiel on what Salix Inspired is for those who don't know.
Oh, happily. So Salix Inspired is a photography and meetup club in Utah, specifically for more editorial and creative side of the industry. But we prioritize safety and community. So the whole thing is you sign up. You're not guaranteed a spot, but you can sign up. I do my due diligence to background check everyone who comes. And then we get together under themes that I pick and host and plan and do all the logistic work behind, and then we get together and just create together and do cool photos. And I've been doing it for 7 years. I just did my 65th meetup.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I have done 79 locations, and I believe approximately I've hosted 1,750 something attendees. So we've been going insane. Long and strong for very long, and I love it so much. It is absolutely like my soul and my baby. But yeah, it's such a safe photography modeling meetup club in Utah, and I love it so much. It's my baby.
That is really cool. Yeah. How did you get started doing that? What was your first meetup?
So my very first meetup, and it's funny to look back because the first meetups, the themes are you got to start somewhere. My themes when I started were a little lame, but our first one was arcade, and that was 2019, so circa that time. That was very popular, very on brand, but it was arcade. But I mean, now we're doing airplanes and theaters and stuff like that. But I originally started it because whenever I was just at a standard photo shoot for modeling, I constantly was complimented on my planning and my organization. Mm-hmm. And just another model, his name is Luke. Shout out Luke. I don't think he models anymore, but he in passing was just you should do a meetup group. And at the time there was other meetup groups kind of here and there, and so he's like, you should use your planning skills and get to it. And I immediately was like, that's my purpose. And by God, I went off and did it as a young little teenager.
And here you are.
Yeah. No, and I think you're one of the best because of how organized you are.
What a compliment.
So I joined y'all about 2 years ago. Yes. I think we just discussed this, but that's when I discovered you guys. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea what I was really in store for. I signed up on a whim. And
that's my favorite.
I really enjoyed. Well, I'm used to workshops where it's you rotate through. Mm-hmm. You have to shoot certain things in certain places.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you were overwhelmed when it started.
And you guys have heard me moan about all the workshops and how you have to throw elbows with other photographers. But with your meetups, you have an even ratio of models to photographers typically.
Yes.
And it's kind of a free-for-all. So at first I was like, where'd they all go?
Yeah,
everybody's scattered.
The experience of it being a little overwhelming when it starts, because all of the alumni just know to let's go. And all the newbies, not that you're new to the industry, but newbie to Salix Inspired, it is a little overwhelming when you start. But then the rhythm happens, and the one-on-one ratio.
And it's so fun because you're I can, and if I feel like I got a shot and there's another photographer coming in, I just switch off and go get another model.
And if there's a model that you're with love, I don't love your look, you don't have to shoot them. Or if you want to shoot one-on-one the whole time, it's very much make it your own.
That is incredible that we can do that.
Thank you. It's really create your own, you know, get what you want out of it.
And I feel like it gives you more opportunity to like really connect and vibe with the person you're working with.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the same energy, that's okay. There's so many other people there that they'll find somebody to work with that does vibe with them.
That's exactly, like, that makes me so happy to hear you describe it that way, because that's exactly what I was hoping for and like going for, because workshops can be a little overwhelming because sometimes you get put in stations. I think workshops can be a great resource, but sometimes at workshops you get put in a station where you're like, I'm not aligning with this, or like I want to take the model and move her, and they don't allow it. Whereas like Salix Inspired Meetup, I mean, as long as you're staying safe and within the venue rules, like go wherever you want and create whatever you want. I mean, when we did the theater last time, we had people like upside down in the like chairs, we had people in the dressing room, like it's truly just it's just meant to be creative and fun, and I truly love it.
And that's why I think you guys are one of the leaders in this part of it, because I think it's great.
It's been fun. I've been recently, the industry has pushed to start calling myself the meetup mother, because I've inspired many in other meetup groups, which is what an honor to do something and inspire other people. Like, oh, I would love to do something similar. You know, you have Eternal West, and those girls met at Salix Inspired. I have another meetup group coming. I can't say their names because they haven't announced it yet. But they know who they are, and they met at Salix Inspired. And so it's really fun to see like the creativity grow out of Salix Inspired. I mean, it's such an honor to do this.
Even the community that grew from it alone.
Incredible. It just, I have chills. It's truly my favorite thing. And it's fun to like talk about it and be like, yeah, I love what I do. So thank you for this space.
I'm trying to get Shannon. We're going to get her in one of yours this year, because Shannon's never ventured into editorial fashion, but I think she's going to love it and how it's organized.
Yeah.
And so it's going to happen this year, because I want to interview you and see what your experience is like.
Yeah, fair warning, like we were saying, when you first start, you're going to be so overwhelmed for like the first 5 minutes, and then that rhythm happens. Everyone has the experience of like being overwhelmed for the first 5 minutes, but I think you'll have a great time.
And me being like, I do couples photos, so just working with a single model I think is going to be such a big change, but I feel like my creative soul kind of needs it just to branch out a little bit more.
It's good for the soul.
And I think what you'll see is you can meld your worlds, because when you get to do your bridal portraits or your groom portraits, the solo moments of a wedding day, you implement strategies from this workshop with a solo person. It's for anybody who's never done a solo like portrait or like product shoot or editorial fashion shoot, has only done weddings or couples. You have to think so differently about the space and the environment and your composition.
Definitely.
But you can go wild with it.
Yes.
And so I think I'm so excited for you.
You're going to have a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what one you sign up for, because the themes are always so drastically different. I mean,
I've noticed. And like, okay, what was your favorite theme that you've done so far?
Oh, this is the hardest question to answer.
Choose a favorite child.
You guys warned me you might be asking me this, and so I've been trying
or even like top 3, top 5, something.
Oh, okay.
In no particular order.
In no particular order, because they all truly are my babies. But I think the ones that really stand out to me are the ones that are like the most like hear me out concepts. I like boxing ring. We haven't done that one yet, but that one I just feel like is gonna have a special place in my heart, because a boxing ring, like what a crazy thing. And even when I was reaching out to the venue, they were like, you want to do what in our space? But I think the ones that truly will always like be my favorites are the ones that are a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more hear me out, like cardboard. And I mean, I sourced like 200 plus cardboard boxes for that. We made towers, and that one was really special because it really was like, when I announced it, it was very much so like, I know this is weird, I know this is crazy, trust me. And then it ended up being like just exactly what was in my brain. So those ones are always a favorite. But the Oregon retreat, that has such a special place in my heart too. I mean, I was proposed to during it. First retreat, collabed with Eternal West, which they're amazing as well. But yeah, cardboard, Oregon, and man, I mean, airplanes. What a classic. Airplanes are cool. I mean, getting a model on top of an airplane, what a cool thing.
I cried that I was booked that day. I was like,
That meetup in particular, the RSVP process broke my phone. I had to restart it, because as soon as I opened up spots, they came in so fast, which, what a cool feeling as a host is to have people immediately be signing up. But I had to fully restart my phone and like set it down, walk away from it. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, those are probably my top favorite that come to mind. But they all have a piece of my heart, truly.
Like I said, they're your children.
They are my children, truly. But man, cardboard, 200 boxes, that was chaos.
What was the storage like?
Oh my gosh, my poor family. Like, when I came up with the idea, and of course, we're thinking of these ideas a year in advance.
Okay.
So about 6 months prior, I told my family, I was like, all right, so we're going to live in cardboard up until this month. And my family is a great support system, so they all started collecting it. But when I was drowning in cardboard, like, I genuinely mean it. We had to bring a huge van in just to transport the cardboard. It was crazy, but that it ended up being so cool. That was a very special one.
I think that's incredible. So I just want to back up a little bit here. What got you into modeling?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is pretty much like a classic story if you have dance background, but I've danced my entire life. I was in contracts. I taught it for a while. But when you are in a more professional studio, at the end of each year you do photos, right? That's a pretty standard thing. When I first did mine, I mean, I barely knew my left from right. So like I wasn't doing much of anything, but I loved it so much. And I remember thinking like, oh, is this like egotistical? Because all my friends on my dance team, they're kind of like, oh, whatever, it's picture day. But I'm like, oh, it's picture day, like, let's go. And I remember loving that experience, and just every single year you'd get photos at the end of it, and I just loved that. And so as I started to get older, that's really started to like grow. And of course I have the dance background, so I have the ability to move my body, be self-aware of what my body looks like at any point in time. And finally, once I think I was 18, I just saw a photographer call on a whim, super random, and I was like, well, I loved my dance photos, and I reached out to him, and then it was never looked back from there. So it's truly dance 100% got me into modeling.
I think that's super prevalent too. If you've ever worked with her, you've seen that she goes from head to toe, all of her elongated fingers, toes.
God, I'm blushing.
Nice. I'm like,
blushing.
no sickle foots over here.
No, none. Oh, a sickled foot. But yeah, dancing really got me there. And I think it's important as a model, you have to know what you look like, even if you don't get to see yourself at any point during the photo shoot. You just have to know. And I feel like dance is the best way, to do that. I mean, that's part of being a dancer.
I wholeheartedly agree. And I think Shannon does this with couples as well. It's like, you need to move. You need to add some fluidity into it.
Stiff models make stiff photos.
Oh, yeah. You gotta be, you almost have to be in like a constant motion as a model. Not too fast, not too slow, but you do need to be moving. Because, a stiff model.
Or you're going to end up with a gallery with all of basically 3 poses.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And also, like, editorial modeling, the modeling poses are sometimes weird. And you only really get to do that if you're in motion, because everyone can hit a pretty pose. Like, everyone is capable of doing that. But not everyone's capable of, like, how can I, like, have dangly arms and, like, kicking out my leg and make it interesting? And, like, that you gotta be in motion.
That's what is drawing me to it, too, because it's so different from the bridal world. I'm like, this is so interesting, just, like, looking at what people's minds think of when posing like that.
Yeah, and I love there's this calmness that happens at every single meetup, and I encourage it. I try not to like bring too much attention to it to like not scare them, but there's this calmness that will happen at every single meetup where other creatives will start to observe the other creatives in a sense of like being inspired. I mean, it's Salix Inspired for a reason, but they'll start to watch each other, and you can tell that models will get inspired by other models' movements and stuff, and photographers will get inspired by other photographers' angles, and it's never a copying competition. It's truly like inspiring, and it's really exciting. So observing others is a really great way. But what do you guys do if you have a stiff couple at a photo shoot? Like, what are your prompts to? Because if you have a professional model, you can just be like, yo, you gotta move more. Like, we're used to just like tell us what we need. But like, what do you do with like a couple that are just like stiff and scared? And
you know, I think having a conversation with the couple ahead of time, that's something that's not about the session, just to get them like comfortable with you as a person really helps.
Interesting, yeah.
Like, talk about how they got engaged or their wedding plans or just random little things or their hobbies.
Like kind of like come down from the stress.
Breathe for like 10 minutes before the session, just talking. So they're not like, oh, this isn't like scary.
Yeah, because I could imagine if you like tell the couple like, okay, now kiss. Like that can, like if they're never in front of camera, that's like really intimate and invasive. So I've always wondered like, because in my experience, like I said, with editorial modeling, with a model, you get cutthroat critiques and stuff like that, where it's like, you need to move better, you need to like kick your leg more, and so I'm like, you can't do that to a poor bride on her wedding day, where like kick your leg, start yelling at them.
They're two completely different beasts, because I've done in both spaces. Like work mode with editorial is like, it's really like cut and dry. Hey, this is what I need. Let's work to get there.
Yeah, you have to have
with a couple. With a couple, I tell them right off the bat, even with I'm doing like a senior portrait. I walk in, I'm like, the first 10 minutes of this is just you getting used to having a camera on you.
Yeah.
I said, but I'm going to talk you through this the whole time and make you forget a camera's here.
Oh, I love that.
And so I just tell them, I'm like, this is where I'm going to be. I run around, I make jokes. And then I also tell them, I'm like, mirror me. If I'm doing a motion, it's an opportunity for you to mirror it.
Oh, I love that.
And so I really help them through every process. So completely different. With a model, I'm like, I need you to get your pinky in this position, move it.
Well, I always say too, like, the model's responsibility is to bring the posing. So if a model is ever on set and they're not bringing the posing, it's like, that is your responsibility. You gotta, so the like, just immediately get to moving. That's what I always say to models, like, even if it's your first photo shoot, you are capable of moving around and start moving. Move it or lose it.
So I wanted to ask about your selection process, because when you guys in Salt Lake City Inspired, you guys make it where you have to apply to be a part of these shoots.
Yes.
So what's your vetting process to choose a model or even a photographer?
Yeah, there's a ton of thought process that goes into it. First, and this is going to sound silly, but I'm just catching the vibe. And I know that's like so silly, but that has saved me time and time again. And at this point in time, I'm really good at seeing a portfolio and being like, it's something's off, like the vibes are weird. And that's kind of like my more casual answer, but in general what I'm looking for is specifically models. I am going through their portfolio and I'm seeing what their crediting is, and if it's a model and she or he has a ton of photos on their portfolio and they're not crediting, I probably won't bother with them, because it's like, okay, you are showing publicly that you don't credit and you don't respect, and probably me insisting on that being upheld and respected is not going to fall on listening ears. So that's a huge thing I look for. And same with photographers too. If they have a ton of models in their portfolio and I can't tell who's who, that's going to be an issue. Now, if it's a model or photographer and they're signing up and they're a little bit newer, I very transparently have a conversation with them before they even get access to any of the documentation. I'm very strict of like, these are the expectations and the rules that you will follow. Like, are you prepared to do so? So there are many conversations happening. And for male photographers, because let's be honest, male photographers oftentimes are scary, I do insist on Zoom calls and phone calls and chatting with them. And some, I've been told it's overkill, but I also happily have one of the safest groups in Utah, and so happily I will do that work. And also looking at if their portfolio aligns with what we're doing. But I'm also willing to take, not a risk, but for example, if a photographer who only has wedding portfolio, right? If they're signing up for a crazier theme, I'm probably going to be more inclined to like let them, because it's like, you're signing up for a crazy concept, you clearly want to be here. So also addressing like their skill level too is very applicable. For boxing meetup, that's kind of a more advanced concept. So there were a few models that I was like, you know what, this time I think you're going to be overwhelmed in not a good way, and so with love, I'm not going to accept you this time, but next one, please sign up for. So a lot of conversations, a lot of looking at their portfolios, and then any photographer, even if I have good vibes, had good conversations, gets looked up in these private, hidden, safe havens for models, and it's an awesome resource. Photographers are not allowed, and it's community-based, and I look up every single person, and then as well as just a good old Google search, just making sure they don't have, I don't know, like stalking charges, which has happened before. I've had someone try to sign up and they have a history of stalking. So, so a lot of conversations and background checking goes into it, and we're talking hours, like hours upon hours. If there's a photographer that I can't quite get a read on, maybe there's no history on them in the safe havens, I will go through, find models, maybe I know, maybe I don't know, ask for their experience with them. I keep it anonymous. So there's a lot that goes into the vetting process. It's a huge part of Salix Inspired.
No, when I applied to shoot my first session with them, you told me like, hey, you have really good reviews with models. I was like, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Who did I ask?
Didn't even know this existed.
I didn't even know that was a part of this.
Yeah, it's a great resource. And if any model is listening to this, again, it's not for photographers. Any model listening to this, it's called Utah Safe Haven, and it's on Facebook. And you can just join the group. You have to, of course, apply. But it's an amazing resource, and we all go on there. You can post anonymously. You talk about your good reviews, your bad reviews, and you just go search up a name. and I use that a ton.
That's amazing. I didn't know that of course I didn't know that existed.
Right.
But
It's amazing, and it's funny because a few male photographers over the years have tried to make like their own, where they're like, we can look up reviews about models, and it's like, okay, but you guys hold the power in a photo shoot. We need this safe haven, not necessarily you guys. Well, so it's never caught traction, but this safe haven, it's been alive and well for years. I believe a girl named Kendall is one of the admins. She's fabulous, and yeah, it's a community there. It's a really good resource.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the editorial industry in Utah.
Yes,
because I think
knuckles.
Because I think we all are familiar with like the really avant-garde structure that happens like on the East Coast in New York. Yeah. Like we're used to that. So Utah, the land of, I call it Stepford, where everything's kind of one note.
Yeah.
I applaud y'all for really bringing that in and making it the focal point and everything you do.
Yeah, it's so interesting because we're rivaling LA at this point, and I don't think we'll ever rival New York, but we're in the conversation with New York, which is crazy. I think this is such a hot spot, and when I talk to other people out of state, they're like, Utah, really? And I'm like, no, you have no idea. They cast for huge productions here. Like, we absolutely rival LA, but the interesting thing about the editorial space in Utah is meetup groups. That is so unique to Utah. Yeah, there's meetup groups wherever you go, but I mean, Salix Inspired, I think, is one of the biggest meetup groups, if not in US alone. So, and that is a hub here. And so I think it creates, now don't get me wrong, there are bad apples wherever you go. Trust me, I know. But I think because of the meetup groups and the communities that we're trying to cultivate in a very positive way does make the editorial world out in Utah a hair more kind than when you go to LA. Now, that being said, I think Utah has major things we need to prove on. Diversity. We need to be prioritizing that more. We need to be showing up for the LGBTQ plus community. We need to have more diversity, and Utah lacks and sucks with that. And that's one thing we're like, yeah, we're in the conversation with LA, but we need to prioritize diversity way, way more. Like, that needs to be more of a priority that it's just not really seeing happening in Utah where it should be if we're talking in the same conversation of LA and New York. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of it is the pool to draw from.
Yeah.
We don't have that. It's kind of, like I said, Utah's kind of a lot of one note, but I do see it changing.
Yeah,
and you guys have really opened the doors for people to come in and feel fulfilled creatively.
When people are signing up, I do prioritize, diversity with models and, with plus size models too. Like if we have two models that are signing up for the last spot and I have a plus size model or just like the blonde, white, skinny model, I'm gonna go with the plus size because I think we need to be prioritizing that diversity, and that can be in many different groups. But I think it's a really positive and kind space, but there's room for improvement by far.
I think you've spearheaded that really well.
Thank you.
I appreciate the space you've created.
It is hard though because, like you said, Utah is not a diverse landscape, and so majority of our portfolios are going to be white cis couples, right? But yeah, I think if we continue to prioritize diversity, we can, with our kindness that we are kind of doing better in LA. I mean, LA is notoriously a mean industry. Yeah. I think we can really, really do some good as we continue down this path. But the editorial world out here you miss one day and 50 billion projects have happened. Like it's pretty crazy.
That is so true. Do you also accept models from out of state to come model for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't get them very often, but it definitely does happen. I have my crew out in Oregon that the moment they come to Utah, they're gonna sign up. But yeah, every so often I do get an out of state, and it's really interesting for them specifically because this is even further a world that they do not have access to, they don't experience, because meetup groups are a very Utah unique thing. You'll see a meetup group, maybe like I talk about Oregon, and it's really casual. There's no structure or anything like that. So it's very interesting, the structured styled workshops, meetup groups out in Utah. It's very unique.
I think another thing unique to Utah is the amount of models we have.
There are so many models. There are so many. My wait list for boxing alone, I find stopped taking people on my wait list because there's so many models that truly it's a hard way to break ground out here.
We are actually planning, Shannon and I are planning a shoot in Jackson Hole.
Nice.
And I was like, cool, let's flag down a model.
There's
And
nobody.
even looking in Idaho, nothing.
Oh,
like
all
there
Utah.
are 3 options, and I was like, cool. Well, we have to now pay travel fees and lodging for a couple.
I even posted in a Wyoming group looking for a model couple, and all of the comments were Utah people.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'll travel.
Yeah, they're like,
but
I'll
you
travel.
Don't live
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We're trying to eliminate the travel.
Oh my gosh, I have to be like almost careful about if I post I'm traveling, because because there's no models really anywhere else compared to Utah.
Just get
When I
hounded.
went to Tennessee, I was posting some behind the scenes, and I'm really big on I don't post the behind the scenes until I'm home and not in that space. But when I got home and we were posting like behind the scenes, I got so many photographers being like, "Are you still here? Please can we shoot?" I'm like, "No, babe, I'm back in Utah. Sorry," because Utah it's a hub. It really is.
And I think it's unique that we can make so much content that's not for a client. Like, we really get to be so creative.
Yeah.
Because we have other creatives that want to make art together.
Yeah, it's a really interesting space, and I love how many creatives there are. I think it's awesome, but there is, the negative side of agencies in Utah for models. Most of them, I'm not going to say any names, of course, I'm not trying to like get sued or nothing, but most agencies in Utah for models particularly are flat out scams. Flat out scams. So you also see a big hub of freelance models in Utah that have the ability to say, like, when you guys are going to Wyoming, say like, I want to travel to you guys, that have that freedom to just fully sign up for whatever projects they want. So you also have that note going on that models just can do whatever they want out here, which is awesome. I'm very anti-agency in Utah. As soon as you're out of Utah, you got to get into an agency. So you have all these models that can sign up for whatever they want, like I said, like you guys experience. So that's also a very unique to Utah thing.
Have you interviewed with agencies?
Oh, they wish. No, I am so anti-agency in Utah. Like, truly, if I were to continue modeling out of Utah, I would get into an agency immediately.
Okay.
But any agency, even the ones that are good, I don't think they would know what to do with me, to be honest. And I think signing with them, I would be limiting myself, because when you sign with an agency, if I, on my own accord, get a paid gig, chances are they get a cut of that.
Yeah.
So I'm just basically signing someone up to take some of my money. So I personally anti-agency, but I do have some friends that have awesome opportunities and experiences with agencies out here. But no, I will never interview with an agency, but they've asked.
I've heard that agencies here are more so for actors
Definitely
than they are for models.
Definitely. That's
like,
why modeling, don't bother.
They'll
acting,
if you do both, I hear that it's like beneficial, but if you're strictly a model, it's not that beneficial.
Yeah, and I have a lot of friends that there's a new wave of models getting out of agencies, but I used to have some friends that are like, how are you doing so many shoots? And I'm like, are you with an agency? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, do they let you do creative shoots? No.
I didn't even think about that side of it.
A lot of agencies don't allow creative shoots. Yeah.
I had a male model that I had hired for a project, and it was a collab project. But it was a bigger scale project, but everybody was donating time and whatever they were donating. And he had committed, he was going forth, he let it slip to his agent that he was doing it, and his agent pulled the cord on it a week out.
Oh my god.
Even if they're not getting paid.
Yeah, even if they weren't getting paid.
Oh, especially if they're not getting paid. Agencies, like, basically, I'm saying very, like, broad statements. Of course, there's niches to everything. But in general, agencies hate when their models do trade work. They're so big on like, you cannot be a part of that if it's not paid.
And I called the agent to talk to him. I'm like, give me his number, because that's ridiculous. I was like, I'll explain what it is. And well, guess what? That model's not working as a model anymore.
Oh, really?
Like, I think he couldn't do creative shoots anymore for his portfolio. And then
that's how you get burnt out too, by not doing anything creative, and you have to be on all the time when you're working. So
I'm like, and your network just crumpled.
Yeah.
You're not connecting with any of the other creatives that could get you other jobs.
I always wonder, I would love to be on a fly on the wall with the agencies when it comes to Salix Inspired, because I kind of disrupt their thing, because it's very much so like, come create, come get lots of photos or whatever, and they want, like, because I do charge for Salix Inspired, but it's really just to cover the rental of what we're doing, or if it's a space that I don't have a venue rental, you donate. Whereas agencies, I can't imagine they love that very much. They're probably like, no, you should be paid, or like, no, you can't do these projects. So I'd love to be a fly on the wall. I wonder if they like me or not like me.
But I think, oh, go ahead.
Really, I was gonna say that's another thing that you do that's different is you donate the proceeds.
I love to donate. Like the White Rock meetup that we did. I mean, it's a space out there in Knowles, and my really good friend Emmy Edmo photography, she's incredible. She did a photo shoot there, completely inspired me. I asked permission to use that as a meetup. She said yes. And I'm like, I'm not going to make money off that. One, it's her idea, complete credit to her. And two, like, I'm not paying a rental fee out here, so my attendees just had to donate. And then in general, if there is a venue to pay for, like a boxing ring, a bowling alley, a grand theater, I do charge just to cover the rental, which it's not cheap, so that I do charge, but I'm not trying to make a pretty penny off this. It fuels my soul, and that's what's important.
But in comparison, as somebody who does weddings and editorial, your meetups are extremely affordable. Because in the wedding workshops, I've seen prices as high as $1,400 for a local workshop.
Oh yeah, and our retreat we did for Oregon, I mean, we did like upwards of like 12 locations in a weekend. It was $800, and
but,
like
yeah,
industry standard for something like that would be like starting $4,000.
Yeah.
So I love to prioritize making it more affordable, because being an artist, you're broke. That's just like, right, that's like a rite of passage. So I like to think that it opens up opportunities, experiences for people that maybe don't have a ton of money, because we've all been there, we all are there. The world's expensive, so I'm glad that you guys took note of that, because it makes me happy. I mean, there was a day that they used to be $5, but we were not doing cool venues. No. So we definitely stepped up to like cool venues. But I mean, you know, paying for a grand theater is not cheap, but with the community, we can all pay for it and go in there in a like cost-effective way. Instead of paying the thousands of dollars to rent it, you pay the $80 to be an attendee, and it's great, because then I get to shoot in spaces that I would love to. Yep. It's very much so you get into spaces that you couldn't by yourself, and that's just more for the community.
Yep, and I think that's awesome that you take a lot of risks in going and approaching venues and locations.
See the discussion by team. They're always like, what are we doing now, Marion? We're going to get how many cardboard boxes? But taking risks are fun. I love reaching out to a venue that don't do photography, because it's always the funniest process where they're like, what do you want to do?
They're all skeptical.
Yeah, they're like, the what box ring? And then they look at like the history and they're like, okay, you guys have been allowed in art museums. Probably respectful.
Yes, exactly.
It's important to take risks too. I think it's art, you know, you gotta.
Well, I think that's what makes you one of the leaders in the creative aspect of this, because
gosh, what a compliment.
I mean, we've all seen it where it's like, hey, come shoot at the studio, and like there's no production, or the outfits fall flat, or you're just like, you create mood boards for everybody to choose from outfit wise. You help
love a good Pinterest board.
Oh, we all love Pinterest.
Oh my gosh, my siren meetup, I think I had almost 400 pins, and it just to give like everyone like, so like you can find something to be inspired from, surely. Yeah, I love the planning behind it, just everything that goes into it. And I do have to shout out my team. There is a team behind Salix Inspired. I have security, which is my fiance Trey, and then my two lead photographers, which is Maddie and Adam, MK Smitty Photo and Voguish Photo. A huge shout out to them, because they are very hands-on with me. They allow me to take risks and hear out my insane ideas and kind of give me the space, because I'm very dominant in my planning. I like to do it on my own accord. So they let me do that. They let me take the risk, and then they like meet me with such enthusiasm and make it happen. I mean, bless them. They were collecting cardboard for months. Bless them.
That's incredible. Where do you see Salt Lake City Inspired going in the next like 5 years, let's say?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I thought about retiring Salix Inspired a few years ago. I was like, you know, I've done what I've come to do, but it really became apparent that Salix Inspired like is my soul, and in 5 years, like, we'll probably be going strong, because at this point, I now have the goal to hit 10 years and 100 meetups. That's my huge goal, and good grief, what I'm going to do for 100 terrifies me, because I'm going to have to, like, rent out a zoo or something like that for 100.
So close,
I'm getting so close to it. So in 5 years, I see hitting the 10-year mark, hitting the 100 meetups. Definitely more retreats are in the books. We took the year off from retreats because my co-host, again, Eternal West, I collab with them. They're a meetup group similar to Salix Inspired. They were born out of Salix Inspired. We collab on retreats, just some more hands. But we have some really fun ideas for retreats in the works with that. But yeah, just trying to get to 100 meetups. I'm really excited to get to that. And maybe I'll take a year off after that. But I will go. I basically see it as long as the industry needs me and wants me, I will show up for them. If they show up for me, I will show up for them. is really how I say it. But it's funny to think that I was going to retire like 2 years ago. And I was like,
so glad
just kidding. Just kidding.
And you have a team, so if you wanted to step back and take a little bit of a break, you have that freedom to do so.
Yeah, my team they're incredible. They're so supportive. I just love them so much. They're great. They're great. It's a great system for sure.
No, you've absolutely created something beautiful, and I'm really glad you didn't retire 2 years ago, because then I never would have met you.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, if I had, we wouldn't have met. We wouldn't have met. Right. Oh my gosh, yeah, it truly is. I will keep going, because I also have just so many ideas. Like my notes app that like no one is allowed access to besides like my team is the most chaotic ideas, and I still have quite literally hundreds of ideas. So it's like, yeah, as long as the people keep signing up and the industry wants me and needs me, I will keep doing this. I mean, I certainly love it, and I have my systems down to a T, so it's like, why the heck not keep going?
So I've seen, just personally, you developing more into a stylist.
Yes. Oh my gosh, really just got like yanked into that world, but I love it, because it's very unique in the sense of a lot of times models don't have the skill set to style themselves, where I almost from day one have preferred to style myself, and it's really fun for me. And as of lately, I did a styling for just naturally for a photo shoot in our Kanab retreat, and it was the Big Lake Cave, and it was this alien look, and that like blew up, and I got like paid inquiries for styling. And so that was the moment where I was like, I've been quite literally styling myself for almost all photo shoots for how many years I've been modeling. I was like, why don't I lean into it? And so yeah, I've really stepped into it, and it's been so fun, and people love seeing that like creative idea and thought process before. It really was the industry just being like, come here, you're gonna do this now.
No, you're the reason why I signed up, because I saw how meticulous and how much thought was behind each outfit you wore. And for me as a photographer, like, I'm sorry, but what you're wearing is so important.
It's so important.
To the types of poses we can do.
It makes or breaks a photo
like
shoot.
how it interacts with the backdrop that we have. And so I saw how much intention went into it, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's got this. I have all the faith in her in the world.
Thank you. And I always tell models, like, you have to practice that. It's like a muscle. It's like practicing your hair and makeup. Models gotta be comfortable in practicing that. Working with makeup artists is awesome, but sometimes, most of the time, models don't get that. So you gotta be comfortable to be able to dress yourself and style yourself, and it's a muscle you got to practice. And because I'm comfortable styling myself, it's actually opened up more opportunities for paid work, because when a photographer books me, they know they're booking also a stylist. And I really like styling myself. I've started getting into styling other people for photo shoots. It's been really cool, but that was definitely something I like kind of casually did, and then the industry really just like grabbed me by my hair and like yanked me and was like, okay, you are a stylist now. But it's been really fun. I love it, and it really is. It's just another tool in my tool belt as a model, because like I said, photographers, when you book me, you're booking a stylist, you're booking a planner, and as a model, that helps me stand out that much more.
So I kind of forced Marin to come into the wedding sphere for a bit this past summer.
Oh, it's crazy. That year, I literally was never considered for bridal stuff, and then like that time you're talking about, all of a sudden I was getting so many bridal bookings. I was like, what? I feel like I gotta thank you for it. I feel like you really like got me in there, because I'm a tattooed model in Utah. I am not the demographic that they often look for, and so I've started representing the tattooed model world. But doing bridal with you, that was so fun.
So I think we actually really broke the mold, because this is in American Fork, Utah, in the Utah bubble.
Yeah.
This is a
like BYU's like down the street.
Yeah. It's like a historic building. It's very traditional. And I hired Marin because I was like, hey, I know you have tattoos. I know you know how to move. And I said it to me, that was the most important part. And we went and used strictly flash throughout this venue. It was big, in front of a big stained glass window. And we had her in this very editorial, heavily textured,
very editorial gown. Very editorial.
Renee Altaye, we love you.
Woo-hoo.
But they let us have this dress, and we were competing in a photo competition.
Yes, we were.
And the venue had reached out to me and asked me to submit. And I'm just like, me?
Yes, you're incredible.
Like, but my work is not the Utah bubble work, typically. And so I was like, okay, I'm leaning into it. I'm going to hire the model I want. I'm not going to go with what you would expect.
Yes.
And we won.
We won. We ended up freaking winning. It was so cool.
We went so moody, so editorial.
So moody. And even like some of the posing were not very standard, like, you know, like there's like you hold like a marble, like that pose. I mean, it's beautiful. It's timeless. But we were doing more like just really interesting. And we won. It was so cool.
I was like, Maren, break your shoulder. Push it forward.
Yes.
And we had a wired bouquet from Audrey Rose Floral. Like,
So
we had
cool.
unique elements that played into bridal with the details, but the posing and the styling and everything was way editorial.
And it comes back to the taking risks. I mean, if we hadn't taken a risk, like, yeah, it would have been an awesome photo shoot, but I think we really won because we took those risks. And you could see that, like, authentic, just, like, love for what we're doing. And, yeah, taking risks is important because, worst case, maybe we didn't win the competition, but we still would have, like, taking risks are important because the worst that's going to happen is not that bad.
Yeah.
But the best that could happen is really cool. So, like,
And you have fun doing it either way.
Yeah, have fun doing it. That was cool. Yeah,
It was a hoot.
We freaking won. That was so cool. That felt really good, especially because, again, we're Utah. I'm tattooed. I'm also not heavily tattooed, so I don't quite fall into like the
alt site, the alt scene.
I'm right in the middle, and that's a really like hard place to be. And so it was really cool to be booked for a bridal. And same with Versailles. They're another dress bridal boutique that they love to take risks. They love to do like the more edgy. I think it's important to take risks. That's art, truly.
Agreed. And it's been so fun to like see you work both sides as well, because I know that you go more feminine and really flowy when you have a bridal gown on, and then I see you work all the crooked, wicked
love
angles.
The like, you make that collarbone pop.
Yep.
Taking risks are important. It reminds me of the octopus shoot I did with
Yes.
the dead octopus on my head.
Tell them.
Oh my gosh, that
was so like when I saw those photos, I'm like, oh, that's weird, but that's really cool.
It was disgusting, and I want to do it again immediately. But all three of us, I believe, because it was a makeup artist, photographer, and me, that we all just clapped, and it was just purely for fun. It was like we were taking risks. As far as I'm aware, and I know the makeup artist has, and me, and I believe the photographer, we all got paid bookings from that. And
amazing.
And they, like, we're talking, like, very standard, normal, like, jobs. Like, that, but we need to pay the rent. But we all got these awesome, but standard, great opportunities from a dead octopus on a model's head. And take risks, because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have gotten on the radar of these, like, brands and stuff. Like, I want to put a dead octopus on my head again. That was so fun.
I have a philosophy that when you are doing marketing images or images just to fuel your soul, this is your campaign, your runway show. This is your production, and clients buy the off the rack. So you have to grab their attention with the off the charts crazy ideas, and then you'll get a normal booking.
Yeah,
but that's okay, because like you're like, I'm getting paid for that. That's great.
Do you guys find that this kind of not subject changing, but slightly? Do you guys find that paying and investing in a styled shoot brings in paid work, or is it more to build a portfolio? What's like your guys' thought process with that? Because the styled workshop world, I only know it as being a booked and paid model. So I might get photos from it. But I got paid. That was worth my time. And so that's almost a world I'm not super familiar in, because I have such a different lens than that. But do you guys find that that is what catches clients' attention?
Yeah, just like Ali mentioned, like clients buy what they see. So if you are shooting a shoot at like a venue that I really want to book, then that will showcase what I can do with that venue.
Yeah. Like, I mean, perfectly. Like, it shows, like, if you let me back into the space, I know my way around.
Yeah.
The wedding sphere is a little different, because the wedding sphere, they want to feel comfortable in an investment and know that you're going to work well with all of the elements for their wedding day.
Yeah.
So if you have a relationship with the venue, the florist, everyone in between, like, that puts a bride at ease, because this is her biggest day.
Yeah.
If you were talking like a branding session, they're not necessarily looking at the product, they're looking at your lighting, your editing, and they don't really care about the elements, they care about the whole.
Right.
And so it's two different clients.
Right, interesting.
But workshops for weddings are beneficial to show where you can go, whereas workshops for editorial are good for portfolio.
Definitely.
Solely. I don't think you're going to get client who's looking for a certain theme. Oh my gosh, there's the octopus I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh,
Maybe like an out there senior session or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I just did a session with a caiman, which is a little tiny alligator
with
type thing.
Maisie.
With Maisie.
I love Maisie. Oh, huge shout out to Maisie as well.
And that's popped off. Like, that has gotten so much traction, which is crazy. But I'm not gonna get somebody who wants an alligator.
Imagine a bride is like, we're gonna get the alligator.
It's like, bring in Ducky. I want
Went
the
to
tiny
Disney and
caiman.
I told them I wanted to break history.
Exactly. So
I
I know,
cool shoot, though.
but that was like totally soul fulfilling. I'm from
Yeah.
Texas. I was raised with
important
alligators
to do
around me.
those.
I was like, let me at him. And it was fantastic. And I know that is getting a lot of like headway at the moment, and I will use that in my portfolio
Definitely.
for a branding session, because we had a stylist on set,
Yeah,
and I was like,
perfect.
she had a purse in her hand. I'm like, imagine this was your product. Like, we can do a concept
take
in the
it there.
same vein, but not identical.
Yes.
Whereas brides want identical.
Yeah.
So what you showcase for a styled shoot, they want that.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's really important to have a mix of all of it as a photographer. It is important to, like, you know, invest in yourself to get those experience and to pay to go to those shoots, because yeah, they can bring in opportunities. But if you just have one, you're kind of you're closing yourself into a box. It's important to have a few. It's important to get the alligator. It's important. It's important to put the octopus on your head. But it's also important to do, because I mean, I'm engaged, and so I am like dabbling and looking for who I want to book, and I definitely, it's a very interesting lens that I'm putting on, because I am finding myself, for example, there was this one photographer, I'm not going to name who they are, but they only had styled shoots. And so that's almost like a little off-putting, but I also want a photographer that has some styled shoots in it to a degree, because I want them to have that priority of that aesthetic, which I feel like styled shoots cultivate. So it's important to have a mix, and it's interesting hearing your guys' like thought processes behind it, because the styled workshop is when I first started Salix Inspired, a lot of people thought I was a styled workshop, and I'm like, no ma'am, no, I am my own thing. And so it's a world I'm interested in, but I only just get to peek at it when I get booked as a model. So it's interesting hearing your guys' experience. Would you guys host your own, like, together?
I think it would be fun.
Shannon, what are we doing in June?
That's the Jackson Hole thing that we're testing it out, I guess. We'll see.
So cool.
Shannon and I have a group of other photographers and models that are coming to Jackson with us.
Wow, look at you guys.
We're styling it. We have the gowns are getting arranged. We are choosing hair and makeup, all that stuff.
Cool. And it's in June?
It's in June.
Oh my gosh.
And we're staying at my cabin, which is an hour outside of Jackson.
Cool.
So I was like, let's just bring friends.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. I am not comfortable yet inviting strangers.
Yeah, no, that's a whole ball game for sure.
But this is us sticking our toe into the pond.
It's a
You guys
very
taking a
small
risk.
group compared to what you put on.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah, Salix Inspired. I mean, we average about 30 attendees
That's
each
a lot.
meetup. It's a lot. I think because airplanes was really unique in the sense of I was like, okay, we're gonna have 30 people, and then I had so many signups, so I went to the owners of the airplane. I'm like, can we squeeze in some more? But I think that was about 42 of us. It was a big group.
yeah.
It was a big group, which is, it's nice that the spaces allow me to do that, because it's a big group, so it can be overwhelming, but that ratio 1-to-1 happens, and everyone falls into the routine, and it's really nice. So big group is good, but my god, airplanes was a huge group. It's a huge group.
And you had rain, so you had to put tarps down to put dresses on.
Yeah, it
and
rained
everything.
as well. Yeah, that was a crazy shoot. March always has the worst weather, so our recent meetup, when it was perfect weather, I was like, I deserve this. After like being rained on every other March meetup.
For some reason, out-of-state people think that March is spring. And I'm like, don't come here. It's
Especially
all dead.
it's winter.
It's all dead.
Winter.
We haven't even had a winter yet, basically, so we'll see what happens.
Oh my god, terrifying, by the way, the fact of lack of snow. There were meetups that I had planned for the summer that was going to be outside. Completely, I had to scratch them because, one of the meetups, without going too much into detail, of course, because it's going to happen next year, needed a certain type of plant to be in bloom. And we had, the year prior, we marked the day exactly when they bloomed previous year, so we could do it exactly. And then we're going to have no snow. There's the summer's going to be insane, so we completely had to scratch it because all of the gardeners I
It's
chatted
gonna get
with,
scorched.
they're like, you cannot possibly predict when those are going to bloom for this year.
No.
And we've already had, like, the trees are confused. All the farmers I know are just like, our crops are struggling. They're trying to bloom. We have to rip out and replant.
Yeah.
So that they come up in the appropriate time, because we're going to have a freeze in between then and now, and they'll just kill them anyways.
Oh yeah, like our meetups were frantically now going to be indoors for a lot of the summer, like a complete pivot. And yeah, if you're not from Utah and you're listening to this, send us good vibes, because we're about to even being up in the canyons too. We wanted to go back up into the Cottonwood Canyons, and I was like, no, because there's going to be fires. We need to stay out of there.
We've already had a fire in Lehigh.
Yeah, I'm so intrigued to see what the industry and photography world looks like this summer, because it's gonna be different, because it's gonna be so hot, and I'm terrified for it, quite frankly. I've never seen so little snow before.
Yeah, I've seen it in the wedding industry, like far less June or July bookings than usual, because people are like, nope, it's not going to be what we see in our heads.
Yeah, which then makes the like already popular September time
more
that much more crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Are you guys booking weddings in the fall?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
October.
My October's full.
See, exactly. It even more so pushes us all into the fall. Yeah. Their ripples are coming for sure for the industry. Our poor state, our poor lake too. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there is a group. Oh, you're working with one of the designers.
Yeah, actually.
Talk about this.
Oh my gosh, Bridal. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell her to listen to this. So it's an awesome project I'm a part of. I'm very passionate about the Salt Lake and how it's drying up. A lot of the charities that if we are doing a donation meetup, I will opt to like go donate to Grow the Flow. Like, I'm very passionate about it. And I happen to get booked. I have a good friendship with this designer, so she sent me the model call, and I went, and I was a good fit. But it's going to be a gala and a runway show for the Salt Lake, and all of the looks are off an aspect of the Salt Lake. So you have the birds, you have the salt crest, there's a gown being made with like the ripples of the salt crest, all these different aspects that make the Salt Lake a beautiful and glorious thing. All the designers are taking an aspect and making looks and gowns out of it, and then we do photo shoots, and it's a great way to raise money, bring awareness to the Salt Lake. And I am working with Bridal. I think her Instagram is designed by Bridal, House of Bridal. She is awesome. I've worked with her before for an Oregon project, but without going into too much detail, I am a bird, and it's so cool. We're officially at the point where we can't post behind the scenes of it because it's so together, but it's an awesome organization, and it needs more awareness because our lake is quite literally drying up, and it's gonna start killing us. Like, it's releasing toxins, and it's so bad. So I'm glad to be a part of like a project that I can use my modeling in a way that is like helpful.
What data?
We can put a link in the bio of this too, of ways for you to donate if you want to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And what's the date for this runway?
So the runway is going to be October, I believe, 24th. Okay. So it's definitely far out. And then the gala, I'm not super sure when that date is, but it'll be in the fall. Okay. All these designs, I mean, they're elaborate, so they need a long time to be made. But let me pull up the Instagram for the person putting it on so I can make sure I'm doing my due diligence to shout them out. But he is also incredibly passionate about this. It's gsl.luxury is who's like putting it on. Super passionate about this, a great guy, but it's an awesome project. And I think it's important to use art in a way that like causes ripples and brings awareness to causes that need it. And so I'm glad that my little modeling could do that. But I'm so excited. The look is so cool.
Oh, all of her sketches that she's been sharing are so phenomenal. Cool. So and cool. I've seen you in the muslin mock-up of it, and I'm so pumped to see it in the finished product.
She is so talented. I mean, we love to yap, but when she is working on it and I get a look into her thought process, she is so like mindful and like passionate, and the things she talks about, she'll be like, I'm gonna do XYZ seam, and then she'll like teach me what that is, and it's so cool to be a part of her brain is such an honor. Like, she is very talented. Designers, like, I mean, the hours that they spend, you think I spend, that time styling myself, but they spend quadruple that creating it from their hands. I have so much respect for designers, and she is wonderful.
Watching y'all's process, I reached out to her.
Yeah,
and we're gonna work together.
Oh my gosh, she is lovely.
I'm gonna shoot some of her new line, and so I'm cool. So I think she does a phenomenal job,
She's really
and
talented.
I'm really in awe of what you two have created together.
So
What
excited.
I went and followed all the people that are doing this project.
Very cool.
And I was like, oh, I'm excited to see what comes of
I think
this.
we shoot the look maybe at the end of the month, next month. It's really close. So we do a photo shoot first to kind of bring awareness for it, get the ball rolling, and then we'll do, I believe, the gala first and then the runway, or vice versa. So it's a big project. So the casting, she was very transparent with like, you're signing on for many fittings, many projects, and I was like, oh my god, please, I love big projects like this. So I'm very excited about it. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm
Of course.
glad we got to talk about it. I can't wait to tell her, like, we got to talk about
Well,
it.
that's the whole point of this podcast, is to talk about locally what's happening. Because we all can see like the bigger sphere of things, like WPPI just happened in Vegas for the photography industry. But what's happening here at home, and how can we support each other?
Yeah.
That's what this was created for.
Definitely.
And so
yeah, it's so important.
we're so grateful that you're a part of this too, in this industry.
Thank you for letting me talk about it. I mean, it's nice to be nice, and I think any opportunity we can prioritize and showcase kind, creative, supporting each other is, and it has to be a priority, because it's so easy in the art space to accuse people of copying you, or accuse people of this or that, and get jealous or whatever. But if you go in with a healthy mindset of like, we rise by lifting others, we rise by, and so supporting each other, it has to be a priority. And I think this podcast is a beautiful way to like continue that conversation of like, how can we showcase each other, highlight each other, support each other, and just like love on each other. I mean, we're all trying to make art, for goodness sakes. There's no room for negativity.
Agreed, wholeheartedly. Okay, so I want you to tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes. Okay. So first, SLC Inspired on Instagram. Would love for anyone listening to check it out. Please sign up. Sorry if you don't get a spot right away. They go fast, but please check it out. And then my modeling is Mama Longlegs. That's MAMMA_long_legs. Would love for you guys to check me out. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. Truly
Of course.
an honor. Truly. And you guys are both so talented and so beautiful, and such incredible crafts in your art.
Oh,
Truly.
shucks, stop it.
I look up to you guys. You guys are just true artists.
We'll have you back as soon as we get Shannon into one of the things.
I would
we'll
love to
go.
come back and like see your
Definitely.
thought process. Could you imagine? She's like, I hated it.
No,
I'm
we're
kidding.
gonna do a part 2 for
No,
sure.
we're definitely gonna have a follow up, because I want to hear all about her first time experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think that is so intuitive for you, and just for everybody
Yeah,
to understand
it's-
how it goes when you're shifting gears.
Yeah.
Just like mentally where your headspace is.
I'm really curious to see which theme you pick, because that's also like, I mean, there's a whole bucket of different ones this year. So I'm
I would
curious
love
to see.
to know if you're doing anything with like bodies of water, like Utah Lake or
Oh,
something.
rest assured, babe.
Okay.
Rest assured.
I feel like that would be my vibe.
Yeah, keep an eye out, because we might be doing one or two.
Oh my
Those.
gosh.
Yes. But thank you again, truly. You guys are absolute artists, and I look up to you both very much. So thank you so much.
She's giving us far too much
I
credit.
know.
I love y'all.
No, it's so fun to get to know you better, and I'm just excited for what you're going to create in this year, especially.
Right back at you guys. Jackson Hole is gonna be kick-ass.
We're excited.
Okay, I'm gonna have Shannon tell you where you can find her.
Hey guys, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Shannon Farrell Photography. On TikTok, it's just Shannon Farrell Photo.
And I'm Allie Montemayor Photography across all socials. Thanks y'all for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.